Hey, Crawlspacers, welcome to our ASM review show. Let's introduce the small panel. It's me and Christina. What's going on, Christina? How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Not much is happening.
Night two
Yep.
of streaming with you. Also,
Mhm.
night two of streaming with Josh. What's going on, Josh?
Hi, so much is happening. It's been a very busy day, wrapping up exams and work and soft launching that the Winnipeg Webhead actually doing this as a bit of a small business. So yeah, it's been a busy day, but I'm glad we could talk Spider-Man comics again.
College exams, or what kind of exams are you taking?
Yeah, university. I finished
Oh, you're
doing.
taking summer classes. Okay.
Yeah, wanted to get this done faster, so I took some finishing up with my university courses. I have
Nice.
finished a test on Tuesday, final project today. In between shows, I have to quickly write a test, and then
Oh
and
my
then
gosh.
and then have my final last exam on August
What's
15th.
the test over tonight that you got to get done?
I don't know.
Oh, that's not good.
I don't know. Oh,
I have to quickly read the summary and then do a
Oh,
test
man.
on it. But I'll make it work.
Yeah. If you didn't see it last night, Christina and Josh and I, along with George, had a really good time taking live callers. That's up on the YouTube channel if you want to check that out. JR, unfortunately, is having a little bit of a family emergency.
Oh.
So keep him in your thoughts. And hopefully the shows for Saturday, we're going to reschedule. But we've got, after this show, we've got Spider Satellites, where we're going to add Kelly to the show and also Tyler. So, but let's get this show going. We've got 3 issues of Amazing Spider-Man. Josh, you're leading us off with issue 946, which is number 52, volume whatever this is.
Yeah,
Little homage to ASM 301 here too.
yeah, I'm excited to discuss this because these issues were very interesting.
Yeah.
They were something, dude.
Okay, so
Yep.
we'll hop right into the story. So
All right, cool.
Craven starts out with his stupid, ultra dramatic self monologuing again. I gotta be honest, I'm not a fan of the.
Even he doesn't look like he's
Like,
happy to be here.
It's so much. I am
Yeah.
a hunter. I have also been prey. Anyway, so he's going off with that. Meanwhile, Spider Goblin and Chasm are dueling it out like silverbacks in the Congo. Craven says.
Oh.
Now, in honor of JR, I have to talk a bit like him. Our hero, Norman Osborn, is currently giving everything he owns in his company, and all the shares about everything is going directly to Peter Parker. And they're starting to question him, like, what's happening? And he doesn't want to talk about it. But all of a sudden, Kamala Khan is starting to catch wind that something's not right here. So she shows up to Oscorp there. And she starts asking the receptionist, like, is he there or whatever? And Norman screams into his phone, no, I don't want you to send her up here because I'm not here, remember? And
here, real quick, I've lost the images. Let me get these back. They just crashed on me. Let me get some pictures up here. There's our hero you were talking about.
Our hero, Norman Osborn.
Yes. All his goblin glory.
Yeah. So he yells over at receptionists, and Kamala Khan can quite obviously hear it, and goes,
I mean,
okay.
Look at her face. She can hear it.
Yeah. He's like, okay, something's not right here.
Yeah.
So we cut back to Spider Goblin. He keeps belittling Chasm. He's calling him delusional to think someone as pathetic as him is worth saving. Cut back, Ms. Marvel runs into J. Jonah Jameson, Dr. Connors, and Doc Ock's old arms on Dr. Connors, who is not having a good time with them. He's not getting the hang of it at all. Then we also have, along comes the living brain that became this walking brain, and he begins to discuss Spider-Man's plane he made with him, much to Kamala Khan's shock. And Spider-Goblin and Chasm keep fighting, and the living brain recruits Wreck Rap, everyone's favorite wall-crawling, wall-walloping, web-swinging piece of
Christina
garbage.
is a fan, huh?
I am not. This is where the book drops a letter grade for me because of this moron.
Yep.
I think it does the opposite for Christina. It goes up, huh?
We'll get there.
Okay, I got you.
The web-wanging wreck crap.
Yeah.
So, Spider Goblin scratches Chasm so hard, Chasm's all over Spider Goblin with his psychoreactive goo.
Yep.
You and the do over here, the Baja Blast.
So Chasm Baja blasts all over Spider-Man. Turning Spider Goblin back into Peter Spider-Man.
Oh, we got a nice little 2-page spread here of that.
Yeah, it was not. I'd like art, not a problem in this book at all.
Right. Yeah.
So Spidey takes the spear and swings back to Goblin to stab him right through the heart with an epic splash page. So for me, at this splash page here, it gets back that letter grade. The art is definitely my biggest pro in this book.
Yeah.
Do you have that splash page, Brad?
Well, we just had it up. This one, is that what you're talking about?
Note the last page.
Oh, the very last one. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, there it is. That's what you like.
Yes, this
Yeah.
gorgeous. This is a way to end off a to be continued comic with a page like this.
Yes.
And yes, to be continued.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. What is your grade on this one?
My grade is an A-.
Okay. Christina, what's your grade?
I gave it a B.
C plus or B minus. Direct wrap.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not feeling it as much as you two.
Oh.
But I'll give it a C plus.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
I it's not horrible. I'm not personally offended, but I'm not over the moon about it. So, chat, also pop your grades up, and we'll read them after Josh gives his pros and cons along with Christina. So, Josh, what'd you like about this?
Art, absolutely phenomenal. I know nothing about art, but I know this was good. This was really, really nice to look at.
I mean, it's two artists going at it. With we got Todd Knock, and we've also got McGinnis.
And it works. Like it flows
does.
through seamlessly. Like it is very, very nice. I think both of their styles complement each other well. And like if it's at the point you can't tell who's doing what, it flows despite there being art different. Yeah, hands down. Really, really good job.
It does make sense that the A story looks. I mean, if you got to do it, have the A story look a little bit different than the B story. I understand why they did that. So you got the art. What's another pro that you liked?
It feels like a Spider-Man story. Like despite, I mean, I've changed into a Spider-Man costume. I don't know how he instantly goes from Spider-Goblin to Spider-Man right away. But little more magic stuff there. But that being said, it does actually feel like a Spider-Man. Like this isn't so much of the mystical stuff. This isn't so much otherworldly stuff. Like it's with Green Goblin. It's Spider-Man's biggest enemy. Like this does actually feel like Spider. And I was hooked on this story. I did enjoy reading it.
Yeah. All right. Any other pros before we go to Christina?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay, Christina, what's a pro out of you? What'd you like that we haven't said so far?
Well, he's absolutely right about the art 100%. That's definitely a con in this. And then
You mean a pro?
yeah, that's it. Yeah. Anyway, and then the panel that was also on page 2 and 3 with him, I believe that's when he's the Spider Goblin. I thought that was a cool panel too. And then yes, it definitely feels more like a Spider-Man story than we've gotten lately. So absolutely. So
we don't really see much Peter Parker though.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's one of my cons, but we have the. Well, I'll get to cons in a minute. Other things you liked, Christina. What else do you like?
I think everything that Josh said, and then pretty
anybody in the letters pages from the Crawlspace this month? Let's see. I don't see anybody. No Bruce. No Peter. Oh, Peter stopped reading a long time ago. Anyway, all right. Josh, let's hit you up with your cons. What is a con on this one?
Recrap. Not a fan
Absolutely.
of Recrap at all. I can't stand him. The fact like that it kind of shows how good the story is. I gave it an A- because I actually really enjoyed this one a lot. That even despite I don't really care about the B story.
Yeah.
The B plot. that whatever, walking brain, okay. But and recap, yeah, that's a con for me. It's still working for me despite that stuff. But yeah, recap, not a fan of that.
You're gonna get more of it next issue, but that's a con for me also. I mean, writers have their favorites, and obviously this creation by Zeb Wells must be one of his favorites. Otherwise, he wouldn't keep bringing the turd back and not just flush it. Sorry, this is not plumbing history. Maybe there are people out there, chat, if you're watching, if you like recap, rec rap. I'm sorry. Obviously, Christina does. Just can't stand the guy. I mean, Christina, what's some cons? Or Josh, any more cons out of you? I imagine you got some more besides recap.
You're pushing for this tonight. You're like, yeah, give me more cons. A minus 2.
Give me the hate.
Yeah.
Come on.
Who's
JR's not here. We have to go to the dark side a little bit.
I don't care about Kamala Khan. All right, that's JR's input. I just okay. That being said, like, you know, I'm playing the JR advocate here.
Yeah.
Kamala Khan works very well with Miles Spider-Man, with that whole team that they built up, the dynamic. It even shows later on in the Spectacular Spider-Man, which you can see at the Patreon one tonight. So make sure to subscribe to that. She doesn't work as well with Peter, especially this Peter who is so much older. That it's weird. It is weird.
I agree. It's. I mean, we've got the supporting cast. I'm looking at it right now. We got Jonah and we've got Doc Connors. Been here for a long time. Yeah, I don't know. He must be going to be.
He's Doug. That's his name.
Doug. Right.
Yeah.
Doug.
And that's even half of my last name, and I forgot him. I mean, come on.
Don't you know the famous Spider-Man character,
Doug? Yeah. I forgot about Doug. But anyway, you know, when you see something like this in a movie or something, you're like, okay, Doc Connors is good. Jameson's good. Come on. Mm-hmm. This Doug guy is going to die at some point. Doug's a goner. I mean, like,
yeah, if he doesn't even have a last name, forget it. He's out.
Yeah. I mean, if this was Star Trek, he'd be a red shirt. I mean, he's going to go down to the planet and die. Poor Doug. I forgot.
This is comics.
Look, Joey
Everyone
G,
else in this
Joey Z just had the exact same joke I did.
That's a red shirt.
It's a red shirt.
Christina, cons for you?
The magic chasm goo, because he goes from his goblin outfit to his red and blues just like that, and it's like,
yeah.
Here, let me find the goblin goo panel. There's
like, how? I understand it. Him turning him back to mostly good, but what? How are they changing his costume?
Yeah. So all of a sudden, he Baja blasts all over Peter.
Yeah.
And then it gives him a
psycho radioactive goo. Reactive goo. And then look, the costume mask shrinks. He inhales it, and boom, back to the normal.
See, like, just once, I want to see like Spider-Man hopping up and down trying to get a zipper up in a McDonald's bathroom, like I have to do before a party. Like,
dude, look, the color changes on him too.
Yeah,
like it goes from maroon, maroon, to the bright
red.
Well, I think. Well, also, how do we have a floating head of guilt? Literally, I mean,
he is subconscious, so I can accept that. That's fine.
But the color change, wardrobe change, quick. We can't accept. Too much crazy.
He can stick to walls, but really, that quick of costume change? Come on.
Yeah.
Yes, and then of course, and I knew Josh was going to bring up rec rap and call him recrap. I just knew that was going to happen.
I've done that too. Yeah.
And then Josh brought up a point that I was going to bring up later. Yeah. I love Kamala Khan. She's one of my favorite Marvel characters, but I don't think she belongs in this book, and on this team plural. So
I agree. I agree 100%. That was my biggest con. She seems out of place. 5-6 issues ago she died, and if you just read Amazing Spider-Man, you're like, didn't she just die?
Yeah.
Like, do I need to read an editor's note about how she's back? Why did she die? What was the death worth? What was just so she can be transformed like an Inhuman to an X-Men? Is that the whole reason?
Yeah, she was brought back at the Hellfire Gala issue, and it turns out she's a mutant. And what happened was when she went through Terrigenesis, her Inhuman genes activated first before her mutant powers could. So, yes, she's part of the X-Men now. So
I did
But if
not
I-
understand a word you just said.
Yeah, if I got a budget of $5, I'm not going to the Hellfire Gala. Like I'm not going to read the death or the funeral for a friend or whatever it was.
well, basically, Xavier used Cerebro, and he was able to track Kamala down, and that's how they found out she was a mutant. So,
yeah, and to that I say, save me! Oof!
Oh,
Save me! Oof!
oof,
Save me! Oof! Okay.
oof.
So, any other cons besides the Baja blasting, Christina?
Nope, and like I said, I already brought up the Kamala Khan issue of it all, and I was
Kamala
going to bring that up
Khan.
later, but we
Yeah.
got it now. So
We don't mind that Jonah got a butt to the face in this panel. I mean,
well, sort of. It looks like a lower back to
I
me.
mean, yeah, Jonah's got a whole lot of weird relationship stuff. Like he's got this weird relationship with this animatronic thing.
Yep.
At
Yeah.
one point during this run, like a sofa or a fridge or something tried to seduce him in the middle hell or something where that place
talk
is
about a
called.
lazy boy. I mean, come on.
Dang it, Brad.
Oh my gosh.
He needs to be more asserta.
No, it's a love seat for sure.
Maybe he needs to be on a love couch instead, or love seat. Anyway, I'm making furniture jokes. My God.
Oh dear.
All right, let's go to chat. Tevia says, "Can Chasm just go away?"
He's getting his own mini.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Hopefully that
great.
will wrap it up. Michael Reed says, "The struggle as a student is real, Josh." Hey all, I opened a comic mystery box today. I got an ASM comic signed by Ramita Sr. Good job, Mr. Comics. That sounds good. Trayvon says, "Hey, Brad, Josh, and Christina." We get Mr. Comics saying an A- for this issue. Woo, Mr. Comics, you're up there high. I didn't say you're high. Well, you probably are, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we got it.
Because I got high. Yes, Joey Z. Doug is a red shirt. Doug is funny. I don't think so. Oh, it's magic. It's magic. And no, never believe it's not so, says Finkman. Yes, that's how he changes from a maroon colored giant goblin mask into the classic red and blue. Oh, Baja, your blast, says Joey. Don't threaten me with a good time, Joey.
Ooh.
Tevia gives this issue an F.
Oh my.
This book sucks. I give it an F mostly because it's so dumb and makes no sense. What's going on, Jeff? He says, "Hey, crawl spacers." Tevia says, "Why are we having rec rap here? Go away." It's all MCU. Synergy is why we have Kamala Khan in the book. She's basically an Inhuman mutant hybrid.
Yep.
F upgraded to a D because the art was good, says Spider Ghost.
Okay.
Let's see. I am done with Evil Ben Riley. I want him to never come back. I give it an F because his book is dumb and makes no sense. Tevia, I think you don't like ASM. Don't quote me, but I'm thinking you're not digging it, man. So $5 save for you. You don't have to read it, Tevia. We will talk about the stories with you. You can.
I don't have to pay $5.
Yeah,
I gotta
Tevia's
pay-
like. There you
Gotta
go.
pay more than that, okay? Canadian dollar, terrible.
Oh, what? How much is it?
That's,
But
hold
what-
on, let me see the. Hold on.
The conversion.
I paid
What-
$3.99. I get a
No,
discount.
I pay $6.88.
What? Jeez. I paid $3.19, I think. But if you factor in shipping, it's probably close to what Christina said. Enigma says Ed McGinnis is wasted on this. I can't see Chasm without hearing what Kelly calls him in my head. Joey, I think you're right. I can't either.
And he did
Spider
it tonight,
Go-
too.
Spider Ghost says, "Where's George so I can have him picked up the Shatra arc and liked it." George, this is an ASM show, Spider Ghost. George does not read ASM. He reads Ultimate Spider-Man. If you want to see George, he will be on in just a few to review that for the Patreon. So sign up at Patreon. You can see George. See if he likes Ultimate Spider-Man. Some months he do. Some months he do. Some
Right.
some months he doesn't, which is like all of us. I am basically tired of Rec Rap. Why is he here in this series? Because the writer likes him, Tevye. He's only going to be here till issue 60. Then I bet you we will see as much of Rec Rap as we have of GOG, which was Spencer's favorite.
GOG, yeah.
I liked GOG better.
Yeah.
Let's see. God, I wish Spider Yoda had ripped this one a new one. I know. I wish
Yoda.
it wasn't JR's choice. JR wishes he could be here too. George doesn't read ASM because he loves himself. What's going on, Brenton? Okay. So, are we ready to move on? I think chat is ready to move on for more Rec Rap.
Yay.
What issue 53, right?
Yep.
This tab, there it is. All right. We've got the Sinister Six wrapped up. Ha 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 ha.
Ha ha.
All right, take me through this, Christina.
Okay, we open with Norman Osborn. I believe he's talking to the shareholders. He is signing over his entire empire to Peter Parker. And his AI is just, or his assistant, I should say, let him know that he's in the clean room and he's expecting him. And so he thought that Peter was in the room already. And he's like, "Did you bring me my spear?" "Nope. It's Kamala and our favorite guy Recrap saying it's slobbering time with
Jesus.
Connor's wearing the Doc Ock arms and the walking brain showing up.
Like what is this team? Like
That's what I said too. What is the purpose of this team? Yeah, and
this is like a bad food buffet of bad rotten food.
Yeah, that's what I said.
It's got a decent color palette. Like, it has all the colors. It's just all you can stare at is his giant flipping feet.
Yeah, even during Ditko, I wasn't that big a fan of the living brain, and I'm just like, okay,
no,
all right.
Walking brain. He walks now.
Yes.
Oh, the walking brain.
Yep, tis his name. And then Kamala tells Norman that it's part of a plan that Peter put together, including cloning some access cards. And so the difficult part is now him. And so then we get back to Peter fighting his inner demons with the goblin, and he's trying to put together a doohickey with the spear that might be able to help get the sins out of Norman.
Ex Machina, yeah.
Yeah. And then we cut back to Kamala and them fighting with the goblin, and
I mean, seriously, Goblin should wipe these people up. Like, Goblin should just take them all out. Like, he's seriously. Hey kids, I've been doing this for 60 years. Let's just line up so I can kick your ass.
Yep. Then the walking brain needs some time to calculate the villain's final goal, he says, and so basically they're at a standstill. Now, our favorite hero Recrap's going up against
this should not happen. Like, this idiot should not be up in Norman's face.
Well, you're gonna love this in a second, so
I know, but then I don't like what happens to him in the last issue.
Well,
and then this Christina, this is one of my favorite Spider-Man things ever, an upside down kiss.
Yeah. It's like, do we have to take our masks off at the same time too? Who kisses who? And then it's like, is this funny to you?
No.
Then we cut to the next page where he says,
"I'm the voice of Norman Osborn in this book." No. Oh, thank God.
He's like, let me show you how seriously I take it. And then he goes and he sends his goblin glider into him. And
should have done it like 15 times.
Like 15 times. And then, as Josh says, we cut to Craven with his famous monologues that he keeps doing.
Ugh.
So we got
go into his brain. Let's see what he's doing here. Let's see. All right, there you go. Deep thoughts.
He's deep in thought.
Yeah.
And so he's fleeing towards his fate, as he puts it. And then we cut back to Kamala yelling murderer at the Green Goblin a million times over, and the living brain is realizing what the key is to defeat him, and so he basically falls apart and his head falls off.
That's
And
the reader.
Yep. The
Like-
reader.
F level villains fighting one of the best bad guys of all time. Mind blown, literally.
Come back next issue when we get there, and then somehow Kamala Khan is now using the Doc Ock arms to battle the Green Goblin now. And then we cut to Jonah and Doug, and Doug mentions that the chamber below the facility where everybody's fighting is part of Peter's plan, and so they spent.
Shut up, Doug.
And then Kamala says that Spider-Man is Spider-Man's gonna help that your plan will fail because of him, and he's like, Spider-Man is the plan. He's like, was, and then he shows up with the spear to try to stop Norman and stuff, and then they end up starting to go into the bottom facility where Doug said that they were going to go, and so they're just letting Peter just basically deal with that on his own. And then Craven shows up holding Jameson and Doug hostage now with a knife.
What was it? Isn't there a commercial? Blah 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 blah. And Doug. What was that? Isn't that a commercial? Am I misremembering that? Help me out, chat. I swear that's a commercial for some product.
Like, and Doug.
Blah, blah, blah.
And then I was just going to say, then he says the spider and the goblin must go into the darkness together and only one will return. Yeah. And so they are in the bottom facility where they're at, and they're fighting, and he's over there saying, you didn't think that I'd get my mind back and use it on you. And then he's like, with the spear, he's like, that is exactly my plan. So he stabs himself with the knife, and all the
Christina, can I hear these onomatopoeias? What are these?
Oh my god. Splotch and
splutch.
Splotch.
You had a bad night when you get a splutch.
And then there's Nora.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Josh, give me one of these. What's this?
Nora.
Who's Nora?
Norg.
Norga.
Oh, Norman.
And then it's like, it was you, Peter. The sins want you, and that is where we have left off.
Would that be the sins past that want him?
Oh gosh, please don't.
All right, let's see if we got any people in the message. No, I don't see. I'm not message board. In the letters pages. Okay, so Christina, what would your grade be? Would it be a splutch, or an IE, or a Nora?
I'll give it a B.
A B. She gives it a B. Josh, what would you give it?
A C.
C. I give it a see my niece. See my niece. See my niece. See my nephew.
Okay.
Chat, let's hear your grades. I'll read them up and we'll go over them. So, Christina, why do you give it a B? What's your thoughts? What's a pro?
I think it's pretty much the same as the first issue in terms of storytelling, but I same thing with the art and stuff too. And then it's just interesting that he's like, no, the plan was you, and then the Green Goblin goes and stabs him. No, he stabs himself with the spear, and then all the sins go into Peter. And I thought it was just interesting to see where that headed next and stuff. But a lot of it is still the continuation of the art and stuff. That's probably what I think made this not graded lower than it was. So
the art is very good. I've liked McGinnis's stuff more than I've disliked it. This is solid. But yeah, art is definitely a pro. Anything else before we go to Josh?
You can go ahead, Josh.
Okay, Josh, what do you got for a pro that we haven't said? What do you like?
Oh, well, art. Yeah, art.
Yeah, that's everybody's. Yep.
Like, okay, I kind of follow JR same grading thing. Like A is absolutely phenomenal, wonderful. B is good. C is kind of average, forgettable. I will forget this middle issue because there's so like it wasn't bad. There's just so much. I don't care about recrap. I don't care about
Yep.
Kamala Khan in this book. It just it's there. It's a forgettable issue, so it's a C.
Yeah. Christina, what's your cons? Art is my only main pro.
I think he took the words right out of my mouth with rec rep. I knew he was going to say that, and then like we already brought up the Kamal Khan of it all, and I was going to bring that up now, but we already talked about that, so that was a big thing that brings it down too. Because like we said, what is the point of this team? What are they doing?
No, it's a bad. I mean, like what?
Yeah, because she doesn't.
Why does she?
She doesn't need to have the Doc Ock arms. Like
that. Don't get me wrong. It's drawn really well. It's great art. This shouldn't be art though. Like this shouldn't have happened. Like,
the idea.
I don't get it. Why? Yeah.
And if I had to guess, this is going back to Peter over the years and his lack of supporting cast. Like, one of the best things about Spider-Man is the duality. You've got his private life blending with his superhero life. This is superhero life blending with his superhero life. And who would be more, let's just keep the same plot going. Let's say we've got a team that goes up against Norman Osborn. Mm-hmm. Who would be more effective wearing these, going up against him? They don't have to wear the arms of Ock, but like Mary Jane would be more effective in that pose. Hell, Spider-Gwen from an alternate universe would be more effective fighting Norman Osborn than Kamala Khan.
Bring Miles in. They're already doing a Miles Peter comic. Bring Miles in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've got a lot of people. The B story isn't holding up. You've got a random. You got the walking brain. You've got a powerless Kurt Connors. Like,
yeah, that is a con for me. Powerless Kurt Connors. They can't ever decide. Like, continuity is a huge thing for me. They can't ever decide whether or not he's a lizard or not. Like when we first met him in this run here during this specific story, he was like lizard in the lab with these guys, and now he's just not. And I don't know really why.
And then here's what's go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Christina.
I was gonna say too that this brings up like the thing on satellites with the lizard being an ASM blood hunt and stuff, and he's the lizard in that. So it's exactly where's the continuity in all this, and I'm not really sure if this is after Blood Hunt or before whatever. So
Enigma, that's a very good point. Why can't Spider-Man handle all this himself? Why does he need all these side people? Like, maybe just cut that little team down and maybe have something from his personal life intertwining with the fight with Osborn. Instead, you got Kamala Khan, Avenger Geeks, whatever. Let's go. I don't understand why Kamala is in this book. It doesn't need another superhero. It takes away from the superhero we're buying, which is Spider-Man.
Right.
But anyway. Christina, any other cons on this?
No, I think we got everything.
Yep. Okay. So, all right, let's go to chat. Let's see what they're talking about. Oh, you guys are going on. Let's see. I'll start at the top. So, who's Doug? I don't care about Doug. Doug and Benjamin Rabin's son should team up. No, they shouldn't. Why does Zeb Wells give a damn about Ms. Marvel? She shouldn't be in this stupid book. Go away, Kamala Khan. Why is she constantly in the book? Yeah. It seems like either the writer wants her in the book or the editor wants her in the book. It doesn't sound like we want her in the book. It sounds like the chat doesn't want her in the book.
I will say this. I don't know why she's in this book either, especially because she's going to be... She's in her current costume, but she's back to her original costume and looks like in the X-Men comics. And she should be with them, so I'm not even sure why she's in this book either. So...
Enigma got it. Emu, and Doug. So that's it. That's an insurance ad, I think, for it.
It is, yes.
Someone else is saying it was Tom Hanks on Jeopardy as Doug. No, I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking of the emu. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. Mr. Comics gave this one a solid A, not an A minus, an A. To each their own, man. I wasn't feeling this one. On the complete opposite end of it, Tevye gives it an F. This book is crap. And frankly, why do the Sins want to go to Spider-Man? That's not how that works. Also, the team is a joke and not funny. Also, the good thing is Rap getting stabbed.
Yep.
Yeah, I did let a little Norman Osborn sneer when that happened.
And I'm a bit confused about Tevye, what you said about the Sins. I don't really understand, why is Norman evil? Are all the Sins contained in that spear? What is that?
I am very upset about that on behalf of JR. One of the things that when I did that whole 800 episode listen of all this stuff, what always sticks out is JR saying how I love Norman Osborn because Norman Osborn is the evil one. Norman is the bad guy here, and only Peter can see that. That's what's but Norman's the bad guy, not the Green Goblin. Green Goblin just allows Norman to do the stuff that he wants to do. Yeah. When you have the Sins, and that's one of my biggest cons, especially for this next book. When you have the Sins take out of it, it's like, well, Norman's a great guy. It's just this entity Sins that's making him bad, which is not what the Green Goblin should be.
Right.
Well, I mean, why is he evil if all the Sins are out of him? Like, what is that? Like, the concept isn't working for me.
What I understood is that the Sins are still in him, but what ended up happening was he's trying to get the Sins out of him with the spear. That was part of the plan at the end of the book, at the end of what we just went over. And he's taking those Sins out of him, putting them back into Peter. And Peter's gonna basically take control over Oscorp and stuff. That's why he's signing it over to him.
Why does he want that? Why? What is his body going to be? He's just going to be a nice guy and have regrets over doing this to Peter Parker. What I don't buy the concept, I guess, is what's taken me out of it. I don't buy the concept that you can take Sins out of people. Granted, this is the Marvel universe, but you got to get a little bit more grounded than that. And I don't understand why he's evil and he's trying to get the evilness into somebody else. But obviously you didn't get the evil out of him. What's his, and why does he want to make Peter evil? Like, why? What? Do you guys get it? Am I just missing it? Chat am I missing it? I'm not buying what they're selling on this.
I do agree with Josh and JR that Norman is the bad guy. He's the one that invented the Goblin formula and turned himself into the Green Goblin, even though he wasn't necessarily doing it on purpose and had full control over it and stuff. But he was still the bad guy and has dealt a blow to Peter's life for a very long time and stuff. So yeah, it is him. The whole stuff with the Sins, it doesn't make sense because that's not the Green Goblin. So
I don't get it, and I don't buy for a bit this little ragtag group is taking Norman out. Like, not one bit. Like, Kamala Khan should have her butt whooped by Norman Osborn.
Yes.
And Joey Z has a good comment. This doesn't feel like the same Norman who did Dark Reign, who had a cabal where he manipulated Dr. Doom and Loki. No, this seems like he's fighting Saturday morning superheroes. Like, it makes him very cartoony and not menacing. This isn't the guy that killed Peter Parker's girlfriend. This is not Norman's voice for me. It's just, I'm not feeling it. Let's see. The book doesn't deserve grading. Oh. Man. Ooh, that's about
yikes.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty funny. This Norman is a joke of a character, makes him a loser and an incompetent idiot. Let's see. His private life is gone. Yep. There's not many people that you don't see. Tevye once made a Parker that would be more effective. Continuity is broken. Have you guys read the ASM Annual 2024? He was a Chad in this issue. We are going to review that on Patreon after this show. You guys keep asking for these issues. Sign up for Patreon. You get to see them all live.
I'm going over it next on satellites. That would be me.
Christina has it. You don't want to miss Josh's Dark Reign 2 Electric Boogaloo, do you?
Oh, man.
You don't want to miss that. That's on Patreon. I mean, come on.
Oh, man.
Gary, Brad, what's that Spider-Man thing with Romita art next to the Spider cereal? That is, yeah, by the way, I've redone the office a little bit. I put my spinner rack over there, moved some comic books around. I pulled some drawers out to put some spider stuff over my head. That are Spider-Man's color forms from the 70s. Color forms, if you don't know, we were very bored in the 70s. They're little stickers, and you get like a little cardboard thing, and that particular one, it's a little city skylight, and you put your little Spider-Man sticker on it, and it sticks, and then you put another, like a rhino on there, and they stick, and you take the little figures. I played with that. This was pre-cell phones. I played with that a lot. To be honest, she was dead 6 months ago, according to the comic. Yeah, no one is surprised she died and came back. Enigma, what is recrap? It's Parker spelled backwards, and it's a shit show character, in my opinion.
Yep, he came from Limbo.
He came from Limbo. He's part of that Dark Rain? Dark Rain, yeah.
Dark Web.
Dark Web, yeah. Let's see. What do we got here? Feels like Zeb only watches Raimi, Spider-Man, and No Way Home, and wrote Norman in this run. Well, I wouldn't. I don't know what it's like to be an Amazing Spider-Man writer. I don't know what the push from his editor, his executive editor, the editor-in-chief, say, hey, we need some synergy. We got to sell toys. I need Ms. Marvel to sell. We're launching NYX. We got to put her in this Amazing Spider-Man book, even if you don't want it. Mm-hmm. And as a writer, you're like, well, the boss said, how do I do this? So I'm stipulating what is happening. I mean, maybe he doesn't want Ms. Marvel in there. Maybe there's other reasons why she's there. Who else? Let's see. Who else witnessed the epic meetup between Brad and George? I did.
I did. I just watched it today.
I couldn't figure out how to get my cell phone camera to flip. That was embarrassing.
And I was watching poor George pick on you, try to get you to read Nightfall.
Good. I picked on him with some Spider-Gwen.
Yep, I saw that. Yep.
Joey Z says Rec Rap is to Spidey what Bizarro is to Superman, a buff and developmentally challenged clone. But I think Bizarro is more liked than Rec Rap.
Rec Rap's not even a clone.
No, he's the demon spawn thing that.
Yep, from Limbo. Yep.
Yeah. Limbo, that's what it was called. Yeah.
Every Limbo boy and girl, get the hell out of here. Now I'm cussing myself out. Okay. So JR was going to review this issue because we got the biggest Norman and Peter stuff going on here. But Josh was nice enough on the last minute, said, screw it. I got tests, but I can pass them.
Yeah,
I'll take on another book, Brad. I'm a good dude. I want to be part of the club.
There you go.
I want to review more subpar Amazing Spider-Man. ASM 948. Take me through this one, Josh.
Okay, so I got to channel my inner JR here because he's
do an expression like Spider-Man. JR.
I need to.
The Green Goblin has a new home.
Clouds. Okay, so I'm gonna channel my inner JR, and we're gonna use props because I know he's famous for some of this stuff.
Props.
This issue is very, very confusing because all of a sudden the Sins become kind of a character in this story, and it's very, very hard to follow where all of this goes. So let's see if I can position my camera. Okay, I got some toys here. So
wow,
I have little Spider-Man over here, and this Mexican knockoff Spider-Man car that my girlfriend got me.
That's Mexican knockoff Spider-Man.
He doesn't have like any legs or arms for that matter, but he
goes vroom vroom.
Yeah, this is gonna represent the Sins.
Yep.
And then I don't actually have a Green Goblin thing, but I had this little like fox, so we're gonna go with this. Okay, everyone's with me still? Great.
Yep.
We got Mexican Spider-Man, a fox, and a Lego Spider-Man.
Got it.
So walk in a bar.
Spider-Man is Spider-Man. Mexican Spider-Man car is the Sins.
And then the fox is Green Goblin.
That's Green Goblin.
Okay.
Yeah. JR is going to be so mad at me. Okay. So, all right. This book. Here we go. Can we see the characters in here? Oh, let me bring this down. Okay. So, okay. We start off with the Sins goes inside of Peter. Now, then the Sins then go into the spear with Norman's push of the button on the spear Peter made. So the Sins start heading back to the spear. I don't have a spear. Hold on.
You got a fork? Maybe a fork or a straw?
Here, I got a Lego lamppost.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
Here's our
There
spear.
you go.
So the Mexicans Spider Goblin Sins start going into the spear. Then Norman and Peter have an epic staring contest so hard that the Sins go back into Peter. So the Sins turn around and go.
What was that sound again? Okay.
Now, then Norman stabs Peter to release the Sins back.
Give me an onomatopoeia. I want to hear a sound effect. Let me hear it.
It's Lego. So
Go nerd.
Fatunk. Nerg.
A tunk. Okay. Okay.
So Norman stabs Peter, releases the Sins to go back inside of him. So the Sins go back to Norman. Then, there's too many characters. There's the living brain. Okay. That's this whale. So the living brain.
You are randomly. What is on this desk?
I love it. I love it.
So the living brain.
I want to know what the slice of pizza is going to be. You always have pizza.
That's not till the Patreon show.
Okay.
So, the living brain, who's the walking brain, which is ironic because this is an orca whale, tells Peter to take the Sins back. So Peter has an even bigger staring contest. Okay, powerful. Now cut to the actual comic.
Oh, okay, hold on. I got staring. I got staring here.
So there's one of the first ones. Scroll down. We're quite a bit in the story now, but it's the one where they're like yelling at each other so hard they look constipated.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me find the constipated spider. Okay, is this it?
Nope, that's the first staring contest.
Okay,
first staring.
Let me keep going. Let me find some constipation.
Oh dear.
There it is.
That one, yes.
Yeah.
Like you can see.
That looks like
look
3
at Norman's
days of no
neck
boom
veins there. That look at the neck veins coming out of Norman and Peter. Oh yeah.
Hey,
okay.
Oh my.
Speaking of, real quick, when we have this layout, no, put your camera down. Put your camera
Gotcha.
down.
Yeah.
When we have this layout, it looks like you are Christina's arms. So, Christina.
Sure.
There you go.
Yeah, it sort of works.
Oh no, you got to put your hands down, Christina. There you go. Okay, keep going. We got constipated Spider-Man on the right. We got Christina's arms going up to Canada, and we have a whale on your desk. Okay.
Yes.
There's
So
a lot to do.
Norman and Spider-Man have an epic staring contest.
Okay.
So hard that they look constipated, and then he takes the Sins back. So Mexican Spider-Man car Sins go back to Spider-Man. Then Peter has a mind battle with the Sins. So we have the Sins and Peter fighting it out inside of Peter's mind.
Okay, let me find the mind shot. Okay, so there you are, right there.
Okay, so they're fighting it out. They're duking it out inside of Peter's mind, but we can't see that. And so the living brain hops along and says, "Hey, Norman, attach me to the spear, and then we can all see the fight." And he says, "Okay." So we put the spear and attach it to the living brain, and then we put it on top of Spider-Man's head.
Yes.
Okay, let me get you that panel of Spider-Man's head. There you go. Got it.
This is exactly what's happening. So it's going right on top of his head here. And now we can see the fight. And so Peter and the Sins are fighting inside the Mindscape. And after
there you go.
A ton of personal Mindscape fighting, guilt, and whatever.
Yeah.
We even have a one more day guilt over here. Look at this.
Yeah, with a giant page recounting the entirety of Spider-Man's history within just one big splash page there.
Which is pretty epic.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. This was a cool page.
That's a cool page. It's no giant whale with a Lego lamp.
No, honestly, we had this orca in there. Would have made it a million times. Oh, the tongue too.
Yeah.
So, after all of this, the sins fly out of Peter and try to penetrate Norman again. But then it just
hold on. Use another word.
okay. Enter into Norman.
Another word.
Baja blast into Norman.
Baja blast into Norman. That'll work.
Psycho-reactive goo its way into Norman.
Oh Jesus!
And
okay, here we go. They're going.
So he's coming, and then it just disappears in thin air, and it's gone. Poof. That's
all my bad things were like a bad fart.
So, are you confused? Because yeah, me too. And anyways, moving on. Peter and Norman, let me get these guys, say that the goblin is dead and they'll maybe be friends one day because stranger stuff has happened. The end.
Yeah, and hold on. You get a whole like
an entire page saying the end.
We couldn't just put it right down here.
No.
Oh man, we gotta blow a whole page on it.
We're paying $6.88 Canadian dollars for this? Absolutely not. Let's give an entire page to 2 words.
Yeah, that's the end.
And at the back end, we have in the letters pages, Nick Lowe talks about how, Zeb Wells was going to end here, but we didn't have anybody in mind of how to continue it for a long term. So we asked him to stick around. Hey, can we train your replacement? Can you give us a few months? He agreed to go. We're going to miss him. He extended his run past the Plan 55. So this was his ending right there. That's what he was going to do. But they're like, we need you for 5 more. We got nothing.
Now, how hard was it to just put to be continued or the end for now instead of still having the end in the book, but then in the letter page, oh, just kidding, there's 5 more issues.
Yeah, I don't because I've been reading it for a long time, but as a reader, when I read that, let's say this is your first Amazing Spider-Man comic. You read that and you're like, well, we were going to stop here, but you know what? Let's stick around. Like, that doesn't encourage me to turn and buy the next issue. It sounds like filler. It sounds like filler stuff, and that's not what.
Well, it's exactly what they did before this issue, where they had the whole yet another Clone Saga thing, where they had what was it called? Where Ben became Spider-Man for the next year.
Beyond.
Yes,
Beyond. That's right.
Beyond. It's Beyond all over again. They're like, we don't know what to do yet.
Exactly.
So we're gonna buy time.
We'll bide our time until we can launch another #1 with the brand new writer. We're going to have you fill in for a few issues, Zeb. We're going to get Joe Kelly to do another little, what could have been a mini series, but we're going to slap it in here on Amazing. And then we'll get our new writer. It just doesn't, man. So, Josh, what's your grade on that one? That was a great, epic, prop-induced recap, by the way.
To quote JR, this is D for dumb.
D for dumb. Also C for confusing.
Yeah.
Very confusing. The ending doesn't make sense.
And I'm sure my props didn't help with that, but at the same time, that's what happens in the book. It's just
exactly. They go back and forth
the whole time.
And was this journey worth it? Why was Norman evil and the sins evaporated? I don't get it. And if this is the end, I don't understand how we got here.
Now, realistically, this means Norman is the perfect guy now. He has no sin in him.
That makes no sense. I mean, look, he's so happy here. Like, yes.
Yeah, that's frightening to see a happy Norman Osborn.
Yeah, I don't like that.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And the journey, which is what this volume started with, was him nice. This was a nice Norman. Mm-hmm. His arc was he started nice. He kind of weirdly became evil for a few issues, and now he's nice again. Like, what was the character arc of this? I don't understand what Zeb was trying to do with this.
That's the main thing, though, is to leave everything the way you found it, right?
Well, the way he found it, the way Spencer found it, Norman was evil.
Yeah.
I mean, these are 2 writers that have I don't get it. Okay, so we got a D for dumb out of Josh. We got Christina. What's your grade on this one?
I'll give it a C+ for confusion as well.
Confusion. I'm going to go a D+ for just I don't get it. It's not for me. I think I know these characters and they're not written like I know them. And this one didn't have as much Ms. Marvel stuff in it, if memory serves. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there really isn't anything going on. They're like, oh, we should go help. No, Craven comes in with his very stupid, dramatic monologue. No, I am the hunter. I say we stay here.
Yeah. And this may be, and this is kind of inside baseball. The sheer fact that Zeb and the main Amazing Spider-Man writer have to do 2 issues a month, maybe that's something that forces them to pad these stories out so much and have the B story of Kamala Khan. Like if this was a once a month book, you wouldn't need that little side journey. You would just have our main character whose name is on the front cover go on this journey and not have all these little people beside him. Pros though, you got to say this is a big pro, Josh.
Yep, that page. That's
Yep.
what's saving this from a D-. It's that page.
Yeah, that splash page of Spider-Man over the years. Can you imagine having that original art? That would be just a great piece of original art.
Yes.
Keep that for himself. I don't know. Any other pros, Josh, before we go to Christina's pros?
This is over. Well, kind of. Like, this story arc is over, but...
Dude, said the end. We're done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this arc's done, but then we have more.
We have a 5-part miniseries in Amazing Spider-Man of Zeb Wells Part 2.
We got the Tombstone stuff coming back, so.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And this was a plot left by Spencer anyway. It wasn't really Zeb's main story, right? He's kind of wrapping up.
Well, the Tombstone stuff we saw in Gang War, and then Tombstone was in the beginning of Zeb Wells' run too. So
the Tombstone story is definitely Wells, but this Goblin story is leftover Spencer scraps.
Yes.
I mean, this is him trying to wrap up the previous writer stuff.
Yeah, that was Sinister War, right? When the Sin Eater took his sins.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So, Christina, pros out of you. You gave it a higher grade than both of us. What are you liking about this?
What everybody else said about the art. The art definitely doesn't disappoint in these issues. And then that one panel definitely popped out when I saw it. So I love that panel.
This one looks pretty cool too. That panel.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. Looks like a McFarlane-ish Spider-Man up there. That looks really cool. Yeah, the art is great. All right. Anything else, Christina, we haven't mentioned that you like?
And then I know that I put this as a pro, but maybe it's a question mark. Is Norman Osborn actually Norman now? Is Green Goblin actually gone? Or are they going to bring him back in so much time?
If Zeb's only got a couple more issues, he's going to punt the ball just like Spencer did.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to possibly another writer is going to try to tackle this same story that really honestly didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yet.
Norman Osborn has no sins in him at all. So all it takes for him to be Green Goblin is to sin once, and then he has sin in him again. And he can, that's, first off, that's not how sin works at all. But, now he just has to sin, and then he can be Green Goblin. It is a very, it takes 2 seconds to be like, okay, he sins, he's Green Goblin again. We're back to having evil Norman.
Yeah, as we were talking about it, that is not the Green Goblin. So
no, it's not. It's like you don't boil a character down to a floating fart ghost. I mean, that's not his evilness. It's
they're treating it like it's Ghostbusters, or it's just this
it's like a
thing that.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're possessed by an evil spirit, and he's not Ghost Rider.
No.
He's not possessed by that. I don't know. Cons, Josh, what do you got? We've mentioned some already mixed in.
I mean, it's D for dumb. As joking as I am with this whole prop thing there, the whole thing is just No, I should have the sins. No, they're mine. No, but y'all should really have the sins because you've been through so much. I've been through more. Give them to like that's the whole story, and the sins just hop back and forth and back and forth and back and that's not a story. It's like an Abbott and Costello skit.
Yeah. Who's on first? Who's got the sins? Sins is
Yeah.
on second.
Yeah.
Even Rec Rap's like, I don't know how I died. The writer told me. I don't
Yeah.
get it.
No clue.
I-
Yeah. Oh, that was so dumb.
I have no
No
idea
clue
where my
how I'm
heart
alive.
is. I have no idea where my heart is. I'm not sure.
That was so dumb. So dumb. Even
Oh,
Rec
and then
Rap's-
those three Jonah, Kirk Connors,
Doug.
and Doug. I don't know if they're like stuck on the
Lamp.
stuck on the power of the sins that went out or something, and they got hit or whatever. They're acting like a bunch of drunks.
Yeah. Tevye, he was stabbed. And he talks. Where is the Rec Rap thing? He talks about how he has another heart. He has a backup heart. So
Well, he
it's just
said
kind
he
of like a
didn't.
cheat.
He said he didn't know where his heart was. He wasn't sure.
Doesn't know where his heart is, so he wasn't stabbed in the heart. Whatever.
Yeah, he wasn't sure. He's like, oh
Wasn't
no.
sure. It just again put it along the lines of we're not sure how this works. It's confusing as hell. So that's Tevye. Can Rec Rap go away and never come back? I bet you he will after this story, unless Marvel is going to do a Rec Rap 3-issue miniseries that
Stop
Christina
putting
should review
ideas
for
in their
Spider
heads.
Satellites.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting if that happens.
I would not put it past him. I really wouldn't. Christina, any other cons?
I don't. We were saying that, but the only part of his plan that I think that actually needed to be there was the living brain, because why was like we've been talking about? Why was everybody else there? Why did Kamala need to be there? Why did Jonah and Kurt and Doug need to be there? Why did they need Doc Ock's arms? Why did that have to be there? And even Rec Rap. Why did he have to be there?
Why?
It's like
Lots of whys, not because we
Why?
want them. It's why.
why? Yeah, and he just seemed like he just needed the living brain because once that part of him got attached to the doohickey that Peter put together to help with the spear and stuff, it's like that's all he seemed like he's needed, and just get Norman Osborn somewhere, just get the spear, get that doohickey on. Whys, lots of whys.
I agree. Josh, any other cons before we go to chat?
No, this
Alright.
is dumb.
We get, how am I going to say his lol high pop?
LOL hype up.
Okay. Like a new No Way Home, they used a chemical to remove Green Goblin from Norman, and it was the same in the comic. I ain't saying it has anything to do with synergy. Enigma says, I say that JR should still review these when he returns.
I want to hear JR's opinion on my whole.
I do too. Spider Nino is your car. Is what
Oh yeah, Spider Nino.
More
Tevye
props.
said that was really funny. Who's the kitty? That would be Norman. Norman was the cat in your little
My
action
cat
figure
fox thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Tevye wants to know, do they kiss?
Yeah, because I think wasn't Norman upside down and stuff there?
Oh, that was
yeah.
Rec Rap. That was Rec
Oh.
Rap. So Norman pushes his spear into Peter while maintaining eye contact. Oh God, Joey. Joey, I should read these before I pop them up on this.
Shink sploosh.
I am loving this. So, love the props. This is a family show, I thought. Hashtag sarcasm. Great, Brad. Now I can't unsee that.
Oops.
This is not how Green Goblin's personality works. It makes no sense. What in the hell are they trying to do with Norman Osborn? Oh, look, they showed one more day. They did on that big.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Joey Z. Hey, Norman, remember when I killed your baby? You want to be buds? Oh, Norman says that to Peter. Yeah. Yeah, you kill the kid, but you want to be friends with him. Yeah, come on. They didn't even put a question mark after the end. It was the end is what it says on that last page.
I do
Okay.
want to. I was going to
Yeah.
say one more thing I wanted to bring up. We talked about this on the show quite a bit about the repercussions of Peter having Norman sins in those books that we were reading, and this wasn't what I was hoping we would get in the end, because it didn't show the repercussions of that. We never really got that, did we?
No, and like again, continuity, huge problem in like Superior Return of Superior Spider-Man. You have Spider-Man fighting Doc Ock, who's taking over the body of Spider-Boy and all this nonsense.
Yeah.
And then in this book, we have Doc Ock laying in his own tentacle juice, just beat up, and but like doesn't make any sense. Like for a company whose main thing is synergy, they are not making any sense.
Right, and then there's the Spectacular Spider-Man with Peter and Miles doing their own thing, and then you have the possible clone crap going on in there with Arcade and stuff.
Metallo.
Yes,
and Doug. No.
And Doug.
And Doug.
Mr. Comics gave it an A- barely. Oh, he's been A's all aboard. Maybe he took it down a little bit.
I thought I was generous.
Oh, Jeff gave it a D-. Let's see. Gary wants to know, would think Joe Kelly would become the main writer after his mini. I don't think so. I mean, why would he not? Why would they not just announce he's the new guy?
Yeah,
what do you guys
they're
think?
Doing the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man. They're going to have a few different writers on that, and then I think it's Joe Kelly right after that.
No, Joe Kelly's writing that 8 Deaths of Spider-Man.
Okay, because I thought there were multiple writers on that.
No, I think I've just heard one. But
okay,
I think there's multiple pencilers, but
to quote you, refresh me. Joe Kelly, he did the Spider-Man and Deadpool book, right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Okay.
He also did the awful Savage Spider-Man and the non-stop Spider-Man recently, which I thought were not very good.
Oh.
However, if you go back to the 90s, Joe Kelly's stuff is really good with Deadpool. He gave Deadpool Blind Owl. He gave multiple things to Deadpool. The first Spider-Man that Joe Kelly wrote was a Gwen Stacy story with Peter going to the no, not the prom. It was a Gwen Stacy story. Maybe it was the night before she died. They went out or something. No, that was James DeMatteis. Help me out, chat. What was that Joe Kelly story? It was in Web Spinners in the late 90s. I remember it from there. Enigma says this book, F it.
F it.
Tevia obviously gives it an F. Ryan Reed, I went D-. You're in my territory, Ryan, with the D now. It was Millhouse saying, look, it's Ms. Marvel, and she did something. Love that double page spread. I do too. Incoming Tombstone. Josh will like that because that's also a pizza. He is Norman Osborn because that's what we are told. Yeah, the writer told us this is Norman. This is what happened. Norman's issues began with his father beating him because he was scared of the Green Goblin monster in the dark when he was 6. I remember that story, Ryan. Rec Rap is protected by Ed McGuinness's Marvel contract. Yes, Ed McGuinness loves to draw him some Rec Rap. So if we get a 3-issue, let's do a year. Let's do a year of Rec Rap, a 12-issue miniseries, Christina, all penciled and written by Ed McGuinness. Yeah.
Oh my
Jeff
God.
says this is why magic should not be a major component in Spider-Man stories. It just makes everything dumb.
But the goo wasn't magic.
Yeah.
Just like,
let's see what else we got. Doug is going to be to Spider-Man what Peter was in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
Everyone's
got a Doug. Yeah.
Everybody's got a Doug. Ryan says your spinner is looking awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. Joe Kelly was Spider-Man gives me no hope because he writes Peter and MJ and brother and sister, which is disgusting. He writes them like brother and sister. Why do you say that? I don't know. All right. Since we got a little time, I'm gonna go to that Web Spinners Joe Kelly Spider-Man. I'm just gonna Google that real quick and see what this is about.
I'm interested because Joe Kelly made reference to One More Day stuff in the Spider-Man and
he did. Oh, it's
comic there.
Let's see. Here it is. It's not telling me what the description of the story is, though.
I do want to say though, I knew there was a couple writers. The 8 Deaths of Spider-Man is Joe Kelly and Justina Ireland. I knew there was another writer.
Oh, that's right, because she did that butt hunt.
Yeah, which I'm going over tonight. So
you are. You don't want to miss that.
Okay.
I found it on Marvel. By the way, before I close this tab right here, I want you guys to discuss this a little bit. There's a in the letters column, Corey from MN Michigan, I think, says, as a longtime fan, there are a few things I'd like to see, though. Spider-Man has the best supporting cast in comics. We don't see much of them anymore. And I think the supporting cast and the soap opera aspect is sorely missed. Think how many classic moments aren't the punching or the fighting, but of Peter and his friends, JJ, and what's he's up to and more. I mentioned that. We've all mentioned that. The reply from Nick Lowe is, Peter's neglect of his personal life and supporting cast has been one of the things that we've been leaning into during his time watching over Norman Osborn. It's going to be interesting to see how that changes now that the Sins saga has ended. Well, so the writer of the letter says that they aren't doing it, and then the editor says they are. Is what I'm gathering. Is that the way you guys read it? I mean,
he says that they're doing it next. Like now, it's going to be interesting to see. Now that this is over, how is Peter going to deal with his personal life?
Well, no, he says we've been leaning into it during his time watching over Norman. So this is him saying that the Kamala Khan and the J. Jonah Jameson.
No. The neglect of his personal life is what we've been leaning into, right? Peter's neglect of his personal life, his supporting cast, has been one of the things we're leaning into. So they're leaning into the fact that he's ignoring it.
So okay, so the answer, okay, I see how you could read it that way. So they are intentionally neglecting his personal life. Yes. And the writer is saying we missed that, and the editor is saying, hey, we know what we're doing. That we're doing it on purpose.
Yeah, he mentions how Spider-Man has one of the best supporting casts, which yeah, he does. He has the best supporting cast, and why are you ignoring it? And they're like, yeah, we are ignoring it. You are right.
And correct. Good observation. Yeah. That's what we're doing. Ding. Also, the writer also says, I'm fine with Peter struggling to pay rent. The guy created Webflow and so on. So why not buckle down, declare himself a chemistry grad student, and move forward from there? Most teams just treat him like a generic scientist, and that's fine for an undergrad. The guy does genius level stuff all the time. It's okay if he's an ADHD chemist, so they still has to Parker luck. And Lowe says we've had many conversations about job opportunities, like what you're talking about, and you never know what's going to happen.
Ugh, I hate that answer.
I still think him as a college undergrad working for the dailybugle.com, taking video and pictures to update it from the 60s is perfect still. I mean, Superman still works at the Daily Planet. Why don't we have Spider-Man still work at the Daily Bugle? That's not been had for, 20 years?
He did a bit for Robbie, right? When he had a science column?
Yes.
Yeah, and Spencer tried to do that. Yeah, that's right. But it didn't go anywhere, did it? I don't remember anything much with that.
Christina, thoughts?
Yeah.
Nick Lowe tends not to give the best answers to people when they ask questions like this. We've noticed that quite a bit. But yeah, I'm reading the old Stan Lee stuff right now. I'm at issue 102, and he should have his supporting cast in and stuff like Jameson and Robbie and Mary Jane, not Jackpot, by the way, and stuff. So,
Enigma, yes, I did say butt hunt. That caught on the Patreon show.
Yeah.
Yes, it
Again,
did.
Enigma, sign up, man. This stuff's fun. If you aren't hearing what we
Just
say on the Patreon.
going off what Christina was saying there, how his supporting cast is very important there. There's kind of this constant struggle between, we know Spider-Man fans know what they like and they want everything like that, but they also want him to grow up, move on, and change a bit. And so, like, yeah, it'd be great to have him back at the Daily Bugle. It's also like he's still at the Daily Bugle.
Mhm.
And one of the things I think this run hasn't done the best job. Like, I'm going to be graduating university now. I'm finishing university. Peter Parker's still in university after 50 years. He's still in college, right? Like, he's still, like, it's, people grow up. JR loves being at the certain time of Spider-Man in his life because, yeah, Spider-Man was getting married. He was getting married. Spider-Man was in college. He was in college. But JR has kids now. Kids have moved out.
Yeah.
I'm out of even me, who was born after, or the same year the first Spider-Man movie came out, am getting out of university. Spider-Man himself is still in college.
They have to show the illusion of change and time. Yeah. And they've Charlie Browned him. They went up until 1987 when he got married, and they stopped. And they were like, he's getting too old after he got married. And then in 2006, they were like, all right, time to soft reboot him. We got to make him even younger. He can't getting married. He was too old, essentially what they're saying.
Yeah.
And they've Charlie Browned him. He doesn't age. He doesn't get past how old are you when you graduate college? 22. He doesn't get past 22, 24. Well, he's in grad school, so that'd be 24, 25. He's perpetually, and as for a long time Spider-Man fan, that is very frustrating that the character is not the illusion of time and change is not working for the last 20 years.
Yeah, it's that sliding time scale. They're like 6 months has passed from here. 6 months has passed since we first left off with Peter.
It makes him even more pathetic.
It's like, he's even older. We're just not referencing. Spider-Man had a birthday in one of these issues, and we still aren't really referencing how old he is.
Here's what's crazy. I had also talked about this with my comic book store guy. They're aging up Miles Morales. He was about 13 when he became Spider-Man. Now he's like 17, 18 years old. And then Kamala Khan is slowly creeping up in age too. And for whatever reason, they just want to keep Peter Parker stunted and making him younger or whatever.
Well, if you go back to Spider-Man, since you're reading this Stan Lee, Steve Ditko, they aged him up within those first 2 years. He was in high school and he got in college by in the issues by issue 30, he was in college meeting Gwen Stacy. So they aged him up pretty quickly in 30 issues. But that's about as much gas as they've given it over 60 years. They let up on the gas pedal.
Yeah, because they had him through college, and then he didn't make it to graduate college because he didn't have a take gym class, and he missed that and stuff. And so they were, like we were talking about, they were aging him up, and then they just didn't want to. They wanted to just stop and make him more relatable. And
well, the argument is, do you age him up in 616, the main book, or do you do a satellite book, which is Ultimate Spider-Man, where they have aged him up and he's a father, he's got kids and a wife?
I think that's why a lot of people like Ultimate Spider-Man better too, is because of
absolutely
them aging him up and having kids and stuff, because people have wanted to see that.
Yeah. And with the diminishing returns of how many people buy floppy comic books, I think you should give them a little bit of what they want, which they have in Ultimate Spider-Man, but that's still a variant. We want our main Spider-Man to grow up a little bit, or at least keep back the way he was in 87.
They keep adding younger versions, so I think the next Spider-Man version is going to be Spider Baby, because they had Spider-Man forever perpetually stuck as like a university student, and now you have Spider-Man Miles, who's forever a high school student now. We have Spider-Boy, who's forever going to be 10 years old, and now we're going to have Spider Baby, who's just forever.
Go back one more. There's synergy to what I'm going to say. Before baby.
Before Spider Fetus.
Spider sperm. Spider sperm.
Oh God.
Yeah. Spider
Spiders
Seaman.
for-
Uh,
Oh, dear.
Spider's bird.
Thwip, thwip. Oh.
Oh yeah.
Oh dear.
He flips it from the windows to the walls. All right. We've got... Oh, don't make it rain. Oh God. Okay.
Spider-Man Rain.
Oh. Okay. Joey Z. That one went off the rails. Unrelated to Spider-Man, what did you and George think of Deadpool and Wolverine, especially one cameo in the montage? I like the burn costume more than the yellow, if I'm honest. Okay. Christina, have you seen it? Josh, have you seen it? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Chat, if you've not seen it, I'm about to talk about the spoiler that Joey is referencing. In 3, 2, oh, my phone just beeped. I mean, my watch. 3, 2, and then it dings.
Beep.
Yes, he's referencing. Here it comes. He's referencing the montage of the variant Logans, and when he gets in the brown costume, which he wasn't in the brown costume when he fought the Hulk, but to see the Hulk in the same screen as Wolverine, that was so freaking cool. And to recreate the Todd McFarlane Hulk 340 cover with the Hulk's face in the claws. Oh Lord. But you know what sucks, Joey Z? I was spoiled by that. I was spoiled.
Really?
I was spoiled because we couldn't make I couldn't go opening weekend to Deadpool and Wolverine because that was my daughter's birthday. And George and I were planning on going, so we were like, oh, we'll wait a week. So I'm scrolling through Facebook and looking at reels, and I'm like,
that was your first mistake. You went online.
Yeah.
Whoops.
And so I knew about all the cameos. There wasn't a single cameo I didn't know about, which kind of
I was not aware Henry Calvary going to be in there.
I
wasn't spoiled by that at all. I sort of knew about Chris Evans as the Human Torch. I sort of knew about
Jennifer Garner talked about it like a year ago.
Yeah, we knew about that. And then even Blade, and then Channing Tatum as Gambit. I was only clapping.
Oh, gonna make a name for myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just tell people.
Josh, can you do a Gambit?
Oh, I'm gonna make a name for myself. You just tell people what happened to you today.
Christina, let me hear your Gambit. You got one?
Oh God, I don't know if I can do it.
Christina, you're gonna make a name for yourself.
I'm gonna make a name for myself.
There you go. Are you ready, Josh? No, I'm just kidding. No, don't say that one.
I think by far best part though is when they hop out of the bus and you get that like slow motion, like where Wolverine's like coming out of the
that
the bus
fight
there.
was amazing.
Oh, that was awesome.
However, the fight inside the minivan was up there for me. I like that. That was
a
tight fight.
In sync. In sync.
Oh yeah, and he even thwipped. Deadpool thwipped.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you see that? He thwipped. Okay, let's see chat because we're getting ready to wrap it up. Going through my multi-dimensional portals really ages Christina. What? I don't know what that means.
What the hell?
Are we talking about Spider Baby again? What happened, Mr. Comics? Okay. Time and comics make. Okay, they're talking about aging up Spider-Man. You weren't taking a shot specifically, Christina.
Okay, yeah, I got it. Yeah, no, I know time and comics doesn't make sense. I know.
Yeah.
You just have to go with it.
Look, even in the real world, that comic was so old. We moved on.
Yeah.
Let's see. Apparently the restaurant they were in was supposed to be the pizza place from Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, Mr. Aziz was supposed to be in there, and that was a rumor floating around, but he never showed up. So
they did the fights that Peter. I mean, this was in the trailer, but they do the fight that Peter and Flash have in the first Spider-Man movie, where Wolverine goes 1, 2, 3, 4. There's this exact same movement pattern that Flash does at Tobey's Spider-Man.
Yep.
That's awesome. All right. Let's see. Coming up in about 40 minutes. See what happens when JR's not on the show?
Yeah.
We're so efficient.
Get it done. We're not wasting so much time with old man.
Gonna make a name for yourself, JR. Okay. Coming up on Patreon. If you want to listen to us talk about this, you can Christina, you talked about you're gonna review. Remember when they used to put like a legacy under stuff for the annuals?
Yeah, they're doing that for the Infinity Watch stuff. They're doing all these #1 annuals for all these comics and stuff. So,
But I mean, this must be like, are we going to miss the 50th annual of Amazing Spider-Man? I mean, if we had Legacy under here, we could see what number it is. I don't even know what it is. This is the 3rd issue of Spider-Man Blood Hunt. We're going to tackle. Oh, Jackpot and Black Cat wraps up. Oh, we didn't get somebody to review that one this month, but we've got 4, 5, and 6, 3 issues of Miles's book. I think Josh is tackling that.
Miles?
Kelly's. You what?
I don't think I'm doing Miles. Was that?
No, Spec. Spec, you're doing.
Oh, Spec. Not
Spec.
Miles' book. Got it. Yeah.
I made this before I had people lined up. Kelly's going to review about the these last 2 issues of Spider Woman. Poor Josh is wrapping up Dan Slott's Superior Spider-Man book.
No, we're wrapping it up. I'm ecstatic.
Oh, you're ecstatic.
I'm doing Spider-Man Reign, so that dropped back down.
Oh, yeah. We've got speaking of Spider-Man Married, we've got issues 6 and 7 we're going to tackle. George is taking a look at that. We've also got Symbiote Spider-Man 2099's miniseries wrapping up, and there is your Reign right there. And this is called Black Suit and Red. Is that right, Christina? Yep.
Black Suit and Blood, I think. Black Suit and Blood.
We've got Spider-Gwen here, and Tyler's going to review some Venom books. I love this homage. It's a variant of the Hulk punching Spider-Man, which was a flip. Spider-Man was punching the Hulk in the original cover on ASM 328. That was cool. And
Spider-Boy.
And Spider-Boy, Josh,
no.
You glutton for punishment, you. He's going to review that on Patreon. So if you want to see that, you got to sign up. And we're going to be live. We're going to add George, Kelly, and Tyler to this cast already of 3. So we're going to have a few more people. All right. Let's do final thoughts. Christina, final thoughts.
I thought that this was going to be one of the better arcs for Spider-Man comic because we were seeming to enjoying it. That just went tumbling down like all these other arcs that Marvel seems to do, and it's like, but we'll have to see where this new stuff goes. Tombstone
and
stuff.
Your grades ranged from what, a B to a C, or were they all B's? I think.
Well, yeah.
You had an A. You had an A, I think.
I think the last time I did that beginning one, I think I had an A, and then it went down to B's, and then kaboom, it was C plus. So.
Yeah, I went from C's to D's. And
Oof.
Josh, you went.
I went from an A- to a D.
Yeah. Sliding scale. So.
Yeah.
All right, Josh. Final thoughts, sir. Oh, that's funny.
I want to know how JR thought of my impression of him and his props.
SoFlo, sorry you're missing it. If you're just now joining us, we're wrapping it up, man. You can join us over on Patreon. We just went over all these books that we're going to talk about in a little bit, which is always a fun time. We better see Lou Ferrigno show up in the Secret Wars. You got to pay him. Okay, we will be back on Patreon in about half an hour, everybody. See you then.